And just like that, folks, we are live. Welcome.
Hey,
Sunday
welcome.
evening.
Sunday evening.
Uh, what is this called? Sounding Off Podcast. I'm like, which program are we doing today? Sounding Off
uh,
Podcast from Moscow, Russia. Your host, co-host Kevin Michalizzi in where are you? Crimea.
yeah, I think I'm in Crimea.
You think you're in Crimea? Yeah, we're somewhere. Wow.
Yeah,
How is everybody doing this evening? Do we have anybody in the chat? We got one person watching. It's
yeah, we had
probably
two.
me.
One disappeared.
It's probably me on the monitor over here. Oh, there's four now. Hey,
Joe's
Joe.
here. Hey,
Joe's in the
Joe.
house. Hey, Joe. Yeah, man. So, uh, Joe
So Eddie,
Morales here came to
yeah,
Russia, came to Moscow a few weeks
yep,
ago,
went back and he's missing it.
and he's back in the States. Joe, I take it you didn't have a problem crossing the border. You didn't go through interrogation with U.S. Customs and get a shakedown from the U.S. authorities because what were you doing in dirty Russia? We want to know. Yeah, everybody has these ideas that that will happen.
Yeah. Well, I just put my daughter on an airplane in Moscow, and I'll give you a report when she gets back tomorrow too.
There
She's
you
never
go.
had a problem for the last 3 years going back and forth, so
I doubt she'll have a problem now.
I doubt she will too.
Good
And
deal.
God help the immigration guy because she has my tongue,
And your attitude, huh?
my attitude. Yeah,
So Joe says,
she's more dangerous than me. I'm full force tank from moment one. She is that quiet sleeper that all of a sudden, wham.
comes back. Yeah, Joe says nothing happened, but the Estonians were kind of funny. I can imagine. I can imagine they were a little funny.
Yeah, well, they're
Chihuahua dogs are often funny. But anyway, I digress.
so.
Hey,
Hey,
we've. Ah,
on
tell
on
me.
our subject for the night, I'm going to open it up with this. You have people concerned.
Concerned?
Yeah, I've already gotten private message saying Eddie's talking about the 702 visa being canceled, uh, and and I was going to get mine in a few months. What do I do?
Well, the first thing you should do is watch this live so we
Yeah,
can talk about that and put everything into perspective. But I'm glad the title worked.
well, and the second thing they should do is apply for that visa and come.
Don't waste your time. Okay, if you want to know, here's the deal. We'll just spell it out at the very beginning, 3 minutes and 50 seconds into this live, so you don't have to waste time watching the rest of the video, but I hope you do.
Well, we're going to keep one secret till the end, so they have to watch the rest of the video.
We'll keep one to the end. But basically, don't wait. That's all I'm going to say. Don't wait. Anyway, in the past, well, actually, since the May 9th holiday, I've had, maybe four, five people from the United States who at one time had either been clients of Worry Free Russia through consultation or one form or another who have come to Russia either to visit or to begin the temporary residency program through the 702, the Shared Values Visa, as it's commonly called. And some have returned back to their home country. So we wanted to talk about that. But before I do that, I want to show this off.
Is is
Look what I
is
got.
Ray in the audience?
I don't know if Ray's in the audience or not. He hadn't checked in, but first of all, thank you, Ray. And
Yes.
second of all, thank you,
Thank you,
Kevin.
Ray. But where are the other 2 packages you promised?
Yeah, I thought there were three, but hey, we
Hey,
all get hungry,
that's what
right?
he promised. I think he got hungry.
But yeah, so here's one thing you cannot get in Russia. Actually, you can get Cheetos in Russia, but the Cheetos that are made in Russia are puffs.
Yeah.
They're not this crunchy, fried, or baked, or whatever these things are, processed cheese substitute food.
And you actually
So,
can buy these on Ozone. They come from China.
oh,
But
really?
yeah, it's $26 for 3 packages.
For the shipping. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't get the crunchies here. You can get
Yeah.
puffs. And maybe the puffs are even maybe a little healthier for you. I don't know.
Yeah,
Ah,
they're
Raymond's in the chat.
yeah.
He said, I only had one room for one in your luggage. Okay, I got you. I
Yeah,
got you,
yeah,
man.
yeah. You know what? You got hungry, Ray. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Missing a little home, so you just start. Yeah, dude. And I was actually going to open this live right now, but if I start eating this, I won't stop until they're all done. All right. So I'm not doing that. I'm full right now. I just had dinner earlier. But yeah. So there's certain things you can't get in Russia. That's one of them right there.
Yeah,
Crunchy
what's another
Cheetos.
one? I know you got it there.
What's that? French's mustard. Well, you can't get French's mustard, but actually, we just checked because I just ran out of my second bottle of French's mustard. And we started looking around. My wife did on US Mall. She looked at Ozone, either one single 30-ounce bottle or a package of 16. Now, I'm thinking of ordering that package of 16 just to make it worth it. And then I will keep, 2 or 3 bottles and I will sell the rest on Ozone or Wildberries. Why not?
Is it actual French's?
Actual French's mustard.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I found a French's look-alike and taste-alike on Ozone.
Well, we found that look-alike as well, and I have ordered a bottle, and we're going to check it out and see if
Yeah,
it,
it's
because it
actually
says
pretty
it's made
good.
in the USA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So it could
made.
be a
Yeah, the brand is actually the brand that they sell at El Target stores.
El Target. Target?
Yeah. Yeah, Target.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's probably French's mustard. It looks it. So we'll see.
But I know you have something there in front of
Ah,
you by your computer that you can't buy here.
you can't buy
Yay!
this. You
Yeah.
cannot buy these icebreakers. Now, these are the cinnamon icebreakers. You cannot get these in Russia. You can. Did we just lose ourselves? Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you can't get the wintergreen, you can't get the spearmint, and you can't get my favorite cinnamon. So, again, Raymond, thank you. Shout out for the package of icebreakers.
Well,
So,
now let's be honest though. It's like the Cheetos. You can buy them here, but what were they when I sent you that link? Like
I
120
don't know.
bucks for 8?
Yeah, about $120 or something like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
extremely. Yeah, and so when I was in Uzbekistan a couple of weeks ago, went on vacation, and I went to several supermarkets looking for this, for French's mustard, and Cheetos. I think they had Cheetos, but I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah.
Actually, I will tell you something that you cannot get in Russia, but you can get it in Tashkent, or at least in Uzbekistan, and that is shashlik flavored potato chips. And they're good. They're not bad. They're not
Yeah.
bad. They're not bad. Uh, but the here in Russia, you cannot get them. So
Yeah.
Raymond says if he didn't have to bring the icebreakers, he would have brought the two bags of Cheetos,
Yeah.
the extra
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
bags.
I still think you had three, Raymond, and you got hungry. So,
He's sticking to it. All right. Well, hey, what's
so
going on
yeah.
tomorrow, man? There's something big happening tomorrow, and that's
Trump
what's
and Putin
prompted.
supposedly are going to talk.
They're going to talk again. They're going to talk again tomorrow. Yeah. And it's got me thinking because
Yeah. So Joe,
just,
don't hold your breath.
yeah, it'll have, I don't know. Something will happen, but I don't think it's going to happen soon.
Yeah.
But so anyway, the whole purpose of the 702 decree by President Putin to allow those who share the same types of traditional family values with Russian and Russians to immigrate on an easier path from unfriendly countries. The U.S. being identified as an unfriendly country, most of the EU, most of the whole Five Eyes, if you know what that is, and a few more countries. But that's predominantly it. So what's going to happen when America is no longer an unfriendly country? Will 702 still be here?
Good question.
Good question. Answer is
I would
I don't know,
I I would
but
say if it's no
I
longer an
wouldn't.
unfriendly nation, its status could go away.
The status could go away. At least removing the United States, because I don't see EU and Europe exactly coming off that list anytime soon, especially with the
I
rhetoric and
I
that they've been
agree.
putting out. But what if America comes off that list? You got to think about it. So if you guys are on the fence, if you're thinking about it, 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, you've got to kind of think about it. Because what does 702 actually do for you that you can't do for yourself if you want to immigrate to Russia? Let's talk about that, because 702 is an easy pathway to residency.
Well, it gets you out of not doing the quota process, which, depending on where you're going, can be quite difficult.
And time
I
consuming.
hear it's exceptionally difficult to get a quota in Moscow. And what a quota is, for those who don't know, it's kind of like the green card lottery in the United States, except extremely limited. Moscow gets what? Like they give out something like 175 a year.
I don't know what the number is, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's something
it's
ridiculously small. I know
definitely a
Crimea,
lottery.
yeah, Crimea gets like 24 a year. And we've had good luck getting people through in Crimea, but you have to be willing to live in a war zone. So, um,
So you don't have to go
quota,
through the quota.
yeah,
The other
you,
the other
you
way,
don't have to take the language, history, and legal test.
You don't have to take
which,
the language test. That's a big one.
yeah,
For at least 3 years. You
for
don't have
three
to.
years, you have to take it for permanent residency. Yeah.
And the other thing is that without quota, the other way to basically come into the country as an immigrant uh, is either to marry a Russian citizen, and even then, they've changed the law recently. You have to be married 5 years before you can qualify to apply for temporary residency. So before it used to be you can get married and immediately apply. That's what I did.
Oh, well, let's keep in mind that 5 years ago when I applied, you had to be married for 3 years and you didn't
Correct.
have to have a child. Then it became you didn't have to wait at all, but you had to have a child.
Yeah. So these laws have changed in recent years because when I first started coming to Russia, it was 3 years of marriage. Then it changed in my particular case because we don't have children between us. Then it changed to just be married. That's all. And I
Yeah.
fell in that particular time frame. So that's exactly what we did. Got married. 2 weeks later, I was submitting my paperwork. But
And
since
had you
then,
waited,
yeah,
you still wouldn't have your temporary
I
residency.
would
Yeah.
not have TRP today because I'd have to wait 5 years. The other way is to have a child, a Russian child born in Russia. That is the other way. So the 702 is quite valuable. Uh, and the good thing about the 702 is it takes about 4 months from the time you apply to the time it's granted. And then once you've got uh, residency, you are free to leave Russia and enter Russia just like you were before, with the stipulation, though, you do in 6 months. I think it's 180 days, if I'm
Yeah, per year.
somewhere right around there, but at least 6 months.
Can't be gone for more than 180 days in a year.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
apparently there is another way that you can come to Russia and stay and not have to worry about background checks and stuff, and that's if you apply for asylum. And you have to prove that you're afraid to go home to your home country. And a couple of problems with asylum is they take your passport away from you temporarily. And temporarily means until they decide to throw you out of the country. You have to renew it once a year. So
yeah, so
basically,
it
you
might
can't
not be
leave the
renewed
country,
the next
and
year.
yeah, you have to renew it. Uh, and if relationships warm up, guess what? You have no reason to be afraid to go back to the United States again.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So, yeah, asylum was never a good option for me because, well, I was not running away from the United States at all.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
that it was never an option for me. But had it been an option and I had 702 option, I'll take 702 all day.
Yeah,
It's so much easier. Now, there are a
buys
lot
you
of
3
requirements.
years. Yeah, buys you 3 years to pass that permanent residency test, and the permanent residency test isn't that difficult.
Actually, there are if you're not following me on my Telegram channel, you should. And also Kevin's, there's links down in the description to that. Go to my Telegram channel and go searching. I posted this, I think maybe about a week ago, but there is an offer for Russian language classes that are specifically geared for the residency test. Okay, so I'm not saying they're going to skip over, grammar and Russian cases and all that other good stuff, but it is targeted to help you pass that test. And there's a link also for a discount for that. So look for it. And I'm going to be taking advantage of that one as well because I need to step up my Russian to get to that level as well. So,
Yeah. And if you want copies of the practice exams, holy practice exam, Batman. Um, that's linked in the American in Crimea Telegram channel somewhere.
yeah, so go and check that out. Make sure you subscribe to, or you've joined us on both our Telegram channels, and because there's a wealth of information out there. And so, yeah, so what do you think? Let's go down this road. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow in the phone call between Trump and Putin?
I think Trump is going to say, Vova, what the hell is going on? Why you won't sign? Yeah, I have to do something about that aperture on the camera. What's going on with you and the ceasefire deal? And Putin is going to say, Donnie, son, I've been clear for 20 years about what our requirement is. Neutral Ukraine, no NATO. Now we need to get rid of the neo-Nazi government, and we now own 4 regions plus Crimea, and you agree to that, and we have a ceasefire. And I think Trump is going to say, oh, well, but hey, how about if you give them Zaporozhye and we'll recognize Crimea, but not the other regions? And, how about if we do this? And Vladimir Putin will say, Donnie, son, neutrality, no NATO, 4 regions, Crimea. And I think that's the way it's going to come out. And Donald Trump, being the patsy that he is going to come out and he's going, last week he was all about, come on, Putin, stop the shooting, sign a ceasefire. The week before he was, Putin is the easy one to deal with. Zelensky's the problem. I think we're going to have the same thing tomorrow. I think it's going to be he and President Putin are best buddies, and this is what Ukraine should agree to before it gets worse. Trump's a smart man most of the time. He should be able to get it in his mind that Russia isn't going to change their mind, and because they have the upper hand, things will only get worse in their demands for Ukraine.
Yeah,
I mean, in
and I think he's actually
2022, in 2022, it wasn't so bad. And it's gotten worse and worse for Ukraine, and it's going to get even worse yet.
Yeah, and I think he's getting better intel and better counsel from his intelligence apparatus around him.
Yeah,
I think he's starting to get
if he keeps Rubio
clearer
out of his
information.
ear, Mr. Neocon himself,
Yeah, Rubio needs to still be on a leash, but
Okay.
but yeah, we'll see. So let's see. What do I think will happen tomorrow? I think the conversation will pretty much go about like that. I do think that Putin and Trump see more eye to eye than most people would imagine on
Yeah,
a lot of things.
yeah.
And there's a statement that Trump said, and I can't remember where, I can't remember the quote, but Google it and you'll find it. he was talking to the press, and he said he was anxious to get this situation with Ukraine resolved because, and of course I'm paraphrasing here, it got business to do with Russia. There's business to do with Russia. But we got to get this behind us.
Yeah.
And so that's a big statement. That's a big statement because if Trump's already saying, "Hey, we're ready to do business with Russia," then that to me kind of also signals that Russia's ready for that business as well.
Well, and Trump also wants to do business with Ukraine, and that relies on a stable Ukraine as well. So this whole mineral rights thing is basically up in the air for Trump as long as this conflict is going on.
Hey, say that one more time because I didn't catch most of it.
I, I said the other thing is Trump has got this mineral rights agreement with Ukraine, so he wants to do business there as well. And as long as this conflict is going on, that's a good for nothing agreement too.
Yeah, everything is stuck on this Russia-Ukraine thing, and Europe as well. And Keir Starmer, wow, talk about an arrogant POS. This guy comes out and says after the Friday, what was it, the meeting? Russia's demands are unacceptable to Europe. Say what?
And who was it that said I didn't know we were negotiating with the UK? I read it.
I just don't remember. President Putin or Lavrov. I can't remember which one said
one
that.
But
yeah, it's like, I don't think we were negotiating with Europe or with the UK. Yeah, I was like, but sometimes these guys say the quiet part out loud. And of course, I've long suspected that since the United States is no longer the lead antagonist with Ukraine, that now it's UK and EU, and probably the UK at the tip of the spear. And it's not Keir Starmer either. It's whoever's behind him. I suspect. I want to do a conspiracy theory. Let me put it out. All right. The same powers that be that ruled the auto pen during Biden administration are the ones behind Keir Starmer today.
Yeah. Did you see the video of Erdogan putting Macron in his place?
Which one? Is it the one where he's holding his finger?
Yeah.
Like, don't grab my hand?
Macron puts his hand on top of Erdogan's, trying to be in control, and he grabs his finger.
Yeah, he's like, no. And then what is this? I saw there was a meme. Of course it was a meme. But Macron sure likes to hold hands with men. Because he's done it more than once. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, Eddie.
I'll shake a man's hand.
Eddie.
But, there's the 3-second rule. Unless you're, you come together, 1, 2, 3, good to see you again. Yeah, boom. And then you're out. Okay?
Yeah.
If they're a real good friend, then you go to the 3-second, and then it goes to a hug, bro hug. All right?
Yeah.
And even that has a time limit, right? Yeah. And then you might come back to one last handshake, and that's it. All right? This is protocol. All right? But this
protocol, yes. Ladies in the house, This is a man's secret.
Yeah, he goes beyond that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know.
So,
He
Eddie,
definitely
will you
goes
watch my
beyond that three
perf,
second.
please?
He
Will
goes
you watch
beyond the
my
three
perf,
second
Eddie?
rule. No, macro man. Yeah.
How do you like my pink shoes?
Oh man. Why
Hey,
why is
I
Europe
want.
so full of people who are like that? Hmm?
They didn't have it till it started in the United States.
Oh, I totally agree. Totally agree. That is a Western export. That's a U.S. export,
Yeah,
straight out of Hollywood, straight out of San Francisco Bay, and Miami, and Chicago, New York. Let's go ahead and throw those in there as well, right? But it totally infected, literally, Europe, and yeah, it's nuts.
and I want to quash this meme, the one that was about a week ago with Macron and Starmer and the German guy on the train and the bag of cocaine and snagging it
Mm-hmm.
off the table in his pocket. I said at the time that people were making something out of nothing. I finally saw this. If you grab the RT video of this, they say, what was it? But if you grab their video and you're watching it on a big 52-inch screen, you can see it is clearly not a bag of cocaine. It is a tissue.
Well, I
It's,
I questioned it because here's the thing. Uh, just like Kevin just said, on a big screen TV in full resolution, 4K, even 8K that they have now, it'll be clear as day. But every video that was shown was a low res video.
yeah,
Whether it was on X, whether it was on YouTube, wherever it was like 720p max res.
yeah.
You can't enlarge it, and the more you enlarge it, just all the pixels just turn to dust, and you can't really tell what it is. So that had me thinking as well. It's like, where's the high res video that I'm sure some news organization has?
RT has it on their website and it's clear as a bell.
There you go. There you go. So you got to think about things like this, okay? But but the meme was good and it fit. It fit,
Yeah,
you know. And they're convenient targets because of the stupidity that comes out of their mouths, that comes out of their press releases. It's incredible. They give us cannon
yeah.
fodder, all the time. So let me ask you this: what do you think Trump is going to tell Zelensky in his phone call, post Putin phone call?
I could only hope that he tells him that you really need to make a deal or we're going to cut off all the aid. That's what I really hope for. Do I think it will happen? I think he may say, do it or we cut off aid uh, as far as the rest of the world is concerned, but we'll keep sliding it to you under the table. I think that's what will happen in the end.
Well, yeah, because here's the other thing: is there's still a lot of neocons in Congress on both sides,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering what they're holding over Trump that we don't know of, or at least the Trump administration. If you cut off all funding to Ukraine, then we're going to hold back, or we're going to push for this, or we're going to pull back on this. and hurt your agenda here at home.
We
Now,
won't pay for the border wall.
yeah, who knows? Who knows what it is? But I'm sure he's being pulled in many, many directions. Because I think the obvious thing would be, yeah, you suspend the aid and the support, and this whole thing goes away quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason that it's still flowing. And I think it's political capital that some neocons have over the Trump administration.
And I think it'll continue flowing. And I don't think anything's going to change for the time being because Zelensky just isn't going to accept Russia's terms.
No,
I
he's
don't
going to
think
accept.
Europe is going to allow them to accept
Right. He's going to
Russia's terms.
accept the terms he's told to accept. And
Yeah.
right now he's being told not to accept. And
Yeah. His new puppet masters are Western Europe, and the United States has basically cut the strings.
yeah, and there's been some comments about that or to that effect. And I believe it was Keir Starmer again who said, and of course I'm paraphrasing this as well, and if you know the quote, you can put it down in the comments. But he said something to the effect that the U.S. has cut their support or something to that effect. We're running the show now, basically.
Yeah.
And it's quite evident to see anyway. You can see it.
Yeah.
So 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Is this 10 o'clock? This is not 10 o'clock Moscow time because 10 a.m. Moscow time.
Yeah. It's got to be 10 New York
a.m.
time.
Washington, New York time. So 10 a.m. New York
5
is
p.m.
going to
Moscow.
be 5 p.m. Moscow time.
Yeah.
So we should know something about 5 p.m. tomorrow, local time. What's happening?
Yep. And hopefully it won't be another big nothing burger.
I hope not. I hope not. But we shall see. We shall see. So what else has been going on?
You know, I had somebody ping me over the weekend, all absolutely up in arms because the Russian central bank updated their requirements for digital assets and said that USDT will no longer be allowed to be used for transactions within the Russian Federation.
Mm.
And as I pointed out to them, it means it can't be used for transactions for somebody in Russia buying something from somebody in Russia with cryptocurrency. It does not affect international transactions. So it can be used by companies to pay companies outside of Russia or to get paid by companies outside of Russia to pay somebody inside of Russia. And just to verify this, I contacted both of the legal exchanges I use, and they both said doesn't affect their business at all. You got USDT, they're more than happy to convert it to rubles.
Good to know.
So just don't fall for that. There were headlines out there over the weekend that USDT was being banned in Russia.
Yeah, I hadn't even seen that. I had not seen that.
I probably wouldn't have if somebody didn't send it to me in a panic.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen anything. But,
Yeah.
Wow. So, on another note, I'm just trying to think of things that I didn't write down so I don't forget.
Yeah, I just
But
verified it's 10 a.m. Eastern.
10 a.m. Eastern. Okay, let me show this to you. I got to grab this here. Now, on my Moscow Photographer channel, hopefully you're subscribed there as well. But on that channel, I have a podcast interview that I did with a member of the State Duma here in Russia. Her name
Maria
is
Butina.
Maria Butina. And this is her book, Prison Diary. And you can get a copy of this book for free. You can download it. Go to the Moscow Photographer channel, look for the interview that I did with Maria maybe a couple of months ago. You'll find the link in that description. Well, this book has been adapted to a mini-series, and production has been completed, and they're now airing on streaming services here in Russia. And the first 2 episodes are on YouTube. And I will have links to those 2 episodes. Now, of course, it's in Russian, but you can use the caption feature in YouTube to read the English captions. Now, I've been told that they're working on voiceovers and voice dubs in English, so this will be out. But the production is first rate. And if you don't know Maria's story, Maria went to the United States several years ago. I can't remember what
As
year.
a student.
2012, 2014? I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. As a student to study. And make a long story short, she was arrested and charged by the FBI for failing to register as a foreign agent and conspiracy, I believe. And she was convicted and sentenced to in federal penitentiary. So this is her story, and it's a heck of a read. But when you read it, it's very interesting now, because had I read this book, say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, my perception of what happened would be totally different today, because now we know how USAID was working. Now we know that corrupt judges do get appointed. Now we know that corrupt district attorneys and U.S. attorneys who definitely have political agendas do get appointed. So now, looking back, knowing what we know about just how corrupt the political system in the United States has become, and the judicial, you read this book, man, it's bad. It's bad. So
Yep.
it's a great read, and it's free. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. So go check
It's
it
a
out,
darn
and I'll
good
put the
book.
and I'm going to put the 2 links to the YouTube videos down below. And if you hadn't seen my interview with Maria, go check it out. It's on the Moscow Photographer channel. You can check that out as well. But I just wanted to
I
give a
have
plug.
one on the American in Crimea channel too. And
There
she
you go.
and she actually talks about her experience.
Put your links to that in the description as well,
Yeah.
if you will. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. And what other news we got coming up? Trying to think.
So is your copy autographed?
My copy is autographed. I do.
Yeah, mine too.
Mine is. Let's see where mine is. Right there.
Yeah. Mine's autographed too. My wife's copy, the Russian version, she has got like a paragraph and a half in hers. But let me tell you, Eddie and I both talk about Maria Butina. She is one heck of a woman. Her story is impactful. What she still does today is impactful for Westerners in particular. Um, there's a couple here from New Zealand in Yalta right now, and they got their snills, they got their Gossaslugi, they got verified, they got the whole shebang all done. They went to the local uh, cell service, Volna Cellular, and went in. And the first thing they were told is, well, since April 1st, it's illegal to sell a SIM card to any foreigner, only citizens. And they called me, and he's like, well, I don't speak Russian that well. What do I tell them? I said, tell them they're full of shit. I says, the law changed. If they're going to pull laws out of the air, at least get the dates right. I said, the law changed. I gave them a link to it. The law changed January 1st. You meet all the requirements. Here's the Gossaslugi page that says they can sell you a SIM card. So they ended up getting my wife involved in translating for them. And then as what came out was, well, yeah, we can sell them a SIM card, but somebody with that's a Russian citizen has to come in and it has to be put in their name. And I know that's illegal as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So they went back and forth with them a few times. I went back and forth with them a few times. I says, you know what? Contact Maria. I gave them a link to her VK profile. They sent her a message, and true to her nature, she answered them. And she said that there are legal implications to what they're telling you. I will have one of my assistants contact you and resolve it. So that's how the government works here. This is how Maria Butina personally works here. And they're resolving it. Basically, nobody wants to get a phone call from a Duma member saying, you're violating the law, you best sell these people a SIM card.
Absolutely.
She does what she says she will do.
And again, on the video on the Moscow Photographer channel, my interview, there's a link to her Telegram, her direct Telegram. And she even says in the interview with me, contact me directly and I will answer you. This level of access you could only dream of in the United States from an elected official. You know, I'm talking about even local elected official, much less on the federal level. So, but she means what she says, and she says what she means.
I find the people in the government in Russia in general are like this. I've spoken to Sergei Aksanov about issues and gotten them resolved. He's head of Crimea. Recently, I went to the head of the Minister of Health of the Russian Federation over an issue, and I had responses from all over the place. It's amazing how accessible the government is here.
Yeah.
But Maria, I put her several levels above everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. She is an amazing person, and and just a wonderful person, just a wonderful woman. Very charming, very down to earth. So go check it out. You'll enjoy the drama as well in the series. So go check it out.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
Me too.
Basically, I'm gonna wrap it up again. If you're on the fence about 702, my dad, in fact, Kevin and I were talking about this earlier. My dad had a saying, and if you're part of our generation, then your father probably had a similar saying as well, and that is, there comes a time when you either shit or get off the pot. And if you are on the fence about, do I go to Russia? Do I make this move? Do I do it or not? Now's the time to start making that decision, because if relations improve, you may see the United States come off that list of unfriendly countries, and then it's gone. So, yeah. Oh, and Joe's got some updated information here as well.
Yep. You click it, I won't.
Okay, there it is. It's clicked. So Joe was here for a few weeks, and he received his SNILS, his Gosaslugi, which is this is your online government account, and his bank account. And my bank account, okay, MTS, which is the cellular provider, told him he did not need a physical card. He's talking about a physical SIM card. So he has an eSIM that he received on his phone when he first came to Russia in 2024, before you needed all of this crap. So he was allowed to keep his eSIM, and he just registered it with MTS and Gosaslugi, and it's all good to go.
Yep. If you had it before January 1st, you register your stuff through Gosaslugi, give it to MTS or whatever cell company you're with, and you're golden.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got, unless there's something super urgent or earth-shattering that comes out of tomorrow's meeting.
Yep.
You probably won't see us until next Sunday. So,
Yep.
anything else?
Nope. Anyone can find me another one of these t-shirts, let me know.
Wild berries.
Nope, not this particular one.
Not that one. Okay.
Nope, haven't been able to find these here. This actually came from the United States.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's about 6 years old at this point, but
good.
It's
all right.
wearing a little thin.
We'll be on the lookout for it. All right, folks.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, and give me about 5 to 10 minutes to get all those links updated in the YouTube channel for the. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to download Maria's book, Prison Diary. You won't have to go and search it over there. I'll just put the links here, but go watch that video anyway. All right, and watch Kevin's video as well. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. See you next time.